What's the difference between being blocked, having a block, being stuck, or just being stalled? Just being stalled. If you've ever been in a stalled car, you know that that can be an emotional experience. And I'm Rick at Thriving Now, and I'm here with Kathy Vartuli from the Intimacy Dojo and Thriving Now. Kathy, why is this important to differentiate? Because most of the time in the healing and personal growth areas, they talk about, well, you have these blocks or you're stuck. They don't even talk about being stalled.
No, and I think it's really important if we can understand what's holding us back and what degree it is, we have a much better chance of using our energy effectively. So, blocked, we're going to use the analogy of say you were driving and your car went into cement and the cement is hardened. Your car is in cement up to its axes and the cement is hard. And for many of us, the self help community, it's like, just keep putting the gas down. Come on, you can believe your way out of this. Come on.
Willpower, positive thinking.
Yes. And I've been there where I just like beating myself up and trying to shame myself for just how come I'm not making a difference when really the universe was telling me, you know what, get out of this car or, this paradigm or this thought process and, look for something different or new. Um,
From
and
a trauma standpoint, isn't that like, okay, I'm in my life and something either happens over and over and over again, so it kind of concretizes around me,
mm,
or the trauma is really significant and I
yeah.
find myself so blocked internally that I can't see any way out. I can't even, I may not even be able to perceive what's happening. I
Yeah,
just know that
yeah, I
there's
think that's when
something.
we go to collapse submit. We've been so like so there's fight, flight, freeze, and after like if you're frozen, the far end of frozen is you're just like you have no muscle tone. So if a gazelle is attacked, the lion will often think it's dead if it goes into collapse submit. It's like it's flaccid. And so sometimes the lion will go away thinking it's dead to get its kids, and the gazelle can get away. But humans tend to like we're in that. It's just like oh, there's no way out. It's so the ruts in our neural pathways are so deep that unless we get some pretty significant help, we're going to probably keep staying in that rut, no matter how much we floor the gas.
So, like one example of that is the person that their life experience, they've internalized that everything is my fault.
Yes.
It's raining outside. Well, it's my fault. This didn't work out. It's my fault. Everything is my fault. And they're like right up against a block. And if and they're collapsed into that. It's like, oh, this is just the way it is. In our work with tapping, we'd have them say like, say this out loud. It's my fault. My fault. How true does that feel? Oh, that is absolute. I know that so certainly that I know it more than 2 plus 2 is 4.
Mm,
That kind of certainty around a block is an indicator. It's like, oh, I'm right up against it.
yeah.
It's actually part of my structure now.
Yeah, I had that
Like
for
the
a long
concrete
time.
around.
Yeah, I had so much shame in my life that literally, if there was a tsunami in India, and I was part of me just really believed that it was absolutely my fault. Like the cement was very solid around that belief pattern, and it took a lot of work to get out of it. But we're not stuck in the car, but we're not going to go further in that vehicle, no matter how much we floor it or believe it or try. That vehicle is basically toast.
Yeah. The other side of that same block from the opposite perspective is nothing's my fault. It's
Mm,
all external, it's all the world.
yeah,
And so that's a block. And, oftentimes we can see other people's blocks a
very
lot easier
easily.
than we can see our own. So that's blocked. And then there's stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, stuck is I'm not blocked. I've made some movement. There's change. I can actually look behind me and see that there's some progress. But right now, like if you get your tires stuck in mud or
Yeah.
ice or something that is like the freeze, what's going to happen? You're still in you can end up in your primitive brain. And the primitive brain in this case, you're not collapsed into a belief that's blocking you. You're really in a place where you get angry and frustrated, or then you can go into like despairing and hopeless. But and and you may want to run and just like leave it all behind. There's a primitive brain aspect, but there's energy moving.
Yeah.
There's energy still moving. You're just stuck. Like,
Yeah, the car is not
okay.
toast. We don't need to scrap it, but we may need to get some kitty litter under the tires or some rocks, or we may need to have someone help push us a little bit. Um,
And sometimes the things that got us a certain distance away from our previous blocks, we can, like, we may have done some tapping on our own and gotten really good progress. This is what I see. And then somebody gets into a stuck place
yeah.
and they don't know about the bridge. They don't know that it's even toll free. It's there, but they're not aware of it. Their navigational map is taking them on a much rougher journey. And maybe we need some help through a particular thing.
Yeah.
Now that's stuck. Primitive brain kicks in and there's that. And then there's stalled.
Yeah.
And to me, I've got lots of stories about stalled because I think to me, there's a savvy. And that's why I believe that recognizing that we've stalled is a real skill. It's a real skill to handle a stall, which happens in human engines a lot more than we probably would like. Most of us stall and we may not pick up on it. If you were driving down a hill and your engine kicked out, you'd still be going down the hill, but you don't have power steering anymore and your brakes are feeling a little funky, right? Your engine has stalled. And to me, stall says, okay, I'm going to approach this differently than I do when I'm stuck or when I have my blocks.
Mhm.
Stall says, hey, how can I, if I'm sliding down the hill, how can I get to a pause, a stopping place so that I'm safe? I'm not causing any damage to myself. I look at, um, well, what kind of, how have I been fueling myself?
Mhm.
Have I been pushing myself with so much enthusiasm that I overheated my energy and my
And maybe you
body?
just need to take a break. Like the car needs to cool down, or maybe it needs some water. Like, do I need to hydrate, refuel, chill out for half a day?
And you pointed out too, like when we're making progress, our primitive brain sometimes needs time to integrate.
Mhm.
And also, it may be picking up things like, oh, the road surface has just changed, and I really don't want to end up in the mud again. And so, can we like pause here? No, you're just enthusiastically driving along and you're not listening to me. And so, I'm going to stall us out
Mhm.
until I'm heard, until my awareness has been respected. And maybe there's some additional support that would be useful.
Yeah.
And being able to do this, like, oh, stall and not like go back into primitive brain and all the recriminations. Oh, yeah. That's
A
if you
lot of
start
wasted
fighting.
energy. I've been there, done it. It's so frustrating. And I think this comes down, this is the essence of wisdom. I was in Al Anon for a long time and we use the serenity prayer. And it really is like, God grant me let me do the things I can do. Let me, make the changes I can. Let me accept the things I can't change and give me the wisdom to know the difference. And that's where the rub is because sometimes we give up before, oh, it's too hard. And then I realize I could have gone forward, or no, I'm going to make this happen. And really, there was no way. And that all happens. But I really like, Rick, when you were talking about when we come back to ourselves, when we ground and we listen to our intuition and we are present with ourselves, often we make those decisions a lot better. We decide better when we're not like revved up or trying to scare. I have to get this done. I'm going to be fired. They're all going to be mad at me. I don't make my best decisions there. So yeah,
My I've gotten to a place where my being, including body, mind, and spirit, is not interested in doing it the old way
yeah,
of using willpower and um, self-criticism and worry in order to drive me forward.
yeah.
That got me really stuck and then blocked. And So now, if I'm wise, as you said, I can tell the difference. I can sense the difference. Am I stalled here? Oh, I am. Okay. Well, let's pause with this. And in the pause, we calm down our sensations and the noise. It could be external noise. Like I know a lot of people that are on a great path, but they hear something from someone that's critical and
Yeah.
they just need a moment. They're stalled moving forward because why? They need to just integrate and clarify for themselves why it's important. The stall has, just like we know that the primitive brain has a divine intelligence to it. It may be like a small dog, but there is, like you use the example of the gazelle, it comes from our ancestry. All of our ancestors used their primitive brain to keep alive, to make babies, to keep the babies safe, who became our great great grandparents and etc. There's an intelligence here. And the more that I embrace the real skill of calm and confidence, guess what? I notice that a stall isn't a sign that something's broken. It's
Mm.
not even a sign that something's necessarily wrong. It's a way of my being saying, whoa. And you and I both have ridden horses, and you don't want to ride a horse without a whoa. And so that's
Yes.
one of the things that we're going to be exploring together. We're doing a workshop, a real skills workshop.
Mhm.
We're going to be looking at this energy of stall and how we react that may take us from being stalled to being stuck.
Yeah.
um, and how we can be wise and savvy with it. Because wow, when you're working with other people, when you're in relationships, when you have your own things that matter, to be savvy when there's a stall,
Yeah.
ah,
I love it. It makes me so excited because when we're calm and grounded and my car stalls, like I can make a quick evaluation. Oh, there is gas. The heat line, the heat is normal. Like there's only a few things I really need to check, and I can quickly take action on them, and I don't spin my wheels. Versus if I'm scared and overwhelmed, I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna be horrible, and I flail around a lot longer. Like it can be, sadly, it could be a couple days before I'm like, oh wait, is there gas? Oh, there's no gas, but there's a gas station right there. So like the more we can get clear on the different pathways, the more effectively we can use our energy and the bigger difference we can make with the energy we have. So I'm just really excited about this workshop and all of us coming together to practice and kind of fine tune this.
so we look forward to either having you live on the session, if you're seeing that now, when we're just uh, days away from having that workshop. And if it's past that date, please know that the way that we do our work, you can tune in to the replay
Mhm.
and be in the moment with us, be in the moment with the energy of the group and all of us that support you in knowing, getting clear of the blocks, getting unstuck, and absolutely being able to take something that feels like a stall
Yeah.
and make it something that works to your advantage.
Mhm. Yeah, we hope you join us, and we'd love for you to have more ease and more driving forward in a really good pace for you, because I think the world's a better place when we're there. So thank you for the attention and the thoughts on this, and we look forward to seeing you soon.